through everybody. So that's what we're just going to start moving through the presentations, and then you'll have to kind of do your analysis. All right.
Morning, people. We are Team A2. That is Francesco, Taichi, Alejandro, Bisola, and we have a guest member today into our team, Tan. Yesterday, as we were brainstorming what is it that we want to speak about in this presentation today, we came across one report by UNICEF, and that kind of disturbed us. And I want you guys to imagine something with me. I want you guys to think. Imagine a hospital, and imagine a huge waiting hall there. And imagine thousands of people waiting for one doctor to come and treat them. And if I tell you that if these people, they do not get the medical attention in like 24 hours, they might die. And if I tell you that 60% of those deaths, they because of one reason, because of one disease, and that is malaria, you can imagine how grim the situation is. And I'm talking about a hospital in a state, Bauchi state. If you do not know where is that, let me tell you that is in Nigeria. So today we are going to speak about the situation in Nigeria because of this one disease, malaria. Can you believe 50% of the world population is still affected by this disease? And can you still believe that 97% of population, Nigerian population, is at a health risk because of malaria? This is how bad the situation is. And 250,000 kids under the age of 5, they die each year in Nigeria because of malaria. But then, having said all this and having presented this really grim picture, I want to add, it's still not as bad. Malaria can be treated, it can be prevented. All we need is awareness, trainings, and the mosquito nets. Before we talk about these things, I want to talk about the causes. What got us into this situation? And Francesco will speak about that. Sorry.
Thank you, Oshima. Hello, everybody. Over the last years, the number of cases of malaria among kids have increased dramatically. Since the mosquito population has almost doubled because of the climate change, increasing the likelihood of people to get infected. Mosquitoes grow usually around stagnant waters, where they usually lay their eggs. In small villages where the majority of the population of Nigeria lives, there are two main sources of static waters. Sewers, open-air sewers. There is no actually like a modern infrastructure system for the sewers around those small villages, and wells, where the people usually collect water. Moreover, people who live in villages don't use any kind of prevention in order to don't let the mosquitoes to bite them. For example, they don't use nets, or they don't use any kind of medicine in order to prevent the mosquitoes from biting them. The situation is even worse if we think about the weather which is in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the weather is always hot, and furthermore, there are two main seasons in Nigeria: a wet season and a dry season. But over the last 7 years, only Nigeria had experienced only the wet season because of the climate change. So, high temperature, stagnant water, and moreover humidity contribute to constitute the best environment for mosquitoes to proliferate. But as Oshima said, malaria can be pre-treated and prevented. And Taichi now is going to discuss with you about what has already been done.
Hi, I'm going to introduce 3 current tracks of the solutions in Nigeria. How can they to prevent the mosquito effect? The first one is like there's an indoor residual spreading. They usually 20 years ago, people or government used DDT to lower the percentage of the infection from the mosquito. But DDT is really dangerous for our human body, and because that is not really easy to be decomposed. So right now, Nigeria use improve this kind of textile, and that can maintain the effect, but lower the risk to the human body. And the second is for the pregnant woman. We usually took the quinine before we go into the country that might have the high risk of the malaria. But that is really dangerous for pregnant women because that is really easy to get them to get miscarriage. So there is another new type of medicine that is named SP that will help the pregnant woman to prevent to get malaria and also help their baby in the butt. Sorry. And the last, but the most important one is the government will help, or the organization will help the people to set the nets in their house windows or their doors just to prevent the mosquito come inside the house. And the most efficiency one is the the bed set. They just set the nets on outside your bed, so when you are sleeping, you will not be bitten by the mosquitoes. These are the most 3 efficient way that the Nigeria government and region use. Later that Alejandro will introduce how to embrace the current actions.
Thank you. Up to this moment, we have talked about what the problem is, just talked briefly about that, and we've tried to convey some of our concerns with this. Now, we have talked also about some of the ways the problem has been addressed, possible solutions, treatments, ways to prevent it. Now, I want you to please imagine, go back to your childhood memories, and try to imagine, or just to recall, your closest 5 friends in the elementary school. Now, I want to tell you that without one of those measures, to solve the problem, with this single money, you can actually improve 5 households. And with that, you can actually save 20% of the people at risk. So this means that just with this bill, one of your friends, without this bill, one of your friends couldn't make it to the elementary school with you. So, does a life in a household worth it? Of course it does. So, we are talking actually, when I'm talking about the solution, we are talking about the ITNs, that it's the insecticide-treated nets. It's just a simple barrier for preventing the mosquitoes to get inside your home and actually, well, kill them because it's insecticide-treated. It's very simple. So, what's the deal with this? Currently, the cost of implementing this in one house is just €10. What's the problem with this? Of course, there's limited resources in every country, especially in this one. So, what has happening until now? Well, there's also NGOs involved in this, of course, but still not enough. Statistics say that only 12% of the households have this. So, the efforts by now include, of course, sponsoring by donating and sponsoring one household to have this. You know, there is actually one Millennium Development Goal that states we are looking to decrease in a 75% the deaths because of malaria. We are half of the way there. This is gonna help in 20% more. Now, to have a final word, I will let you with this all up.
Thank you. As we are aware, the climate conditions in Nigeria cannot be mitigated in any way. And these climate conditions make mosquito breeding very conducive. But the only thing we can do is take actions to decrease the ability for these mosquitoes to breed and also reduce the contact which it has to the human being. So that means, in other words, reduce the transmission of the malaria parasites. In conclusion, this can be done by actions taken. As we know that NGOs have taken some actions through partnership programs by making mosquito nets available, by creating awareness through such as community campaigns, and also initiative programs such as volunteers who go to villages speaking their own language to inform them on how the mosquito nets can be used, and also how measures in which they can take to prevent the mosquitoes from breathing around them. In conclusion, malaria can be prevented. It can be cured. As my colleague has said, there are medications that we can take to cure malaria. And for the preventive measures, all we need is a mosquito net. And how much is a mosquito net? Less than 10 euros.